The person on my right, who, unbeknownst to me at that time, was Donald Trump, put their hands up my skirt.
He was like an octopus. It was like he had 6 arms. He was all over the place.
If someone kind of grabs you, you want to hit them. And I did push him away.
He then grabbed my shoulder and began kissing me again very aggressively and placed his hand on my breast.
Some of the accusers President Trump has promised to sue. We're going to talk now to his point man on Capitol Hill, Marc Short. Marc, thank you for joining us this morning. I want to get actually to the immediate question now facing the president Republican Party right now. That, of course, is Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore. The president has said that the allegations against Moore are disqualifying if true. 7 different women have now come forward with corroborating witnesses. Does the president believe them?
George, thanks for having me. I think the president's been clear on this. When the allegations broke, he was halfway around the globe, 6,000 miles away, and quickly issued a statement that said that if these allegations are true, it would be disqualifying. I think it's important to remind your audience that the president went down and campaigned against Roy Moore in the primary in support of Luther Strange. So we are uncomfortable with the explanations that Roy Moore has given to date. So at this point, we think, though, it's best for the people of Alabama that all the information is in front of them for them to make the decision.
But I'm asking the position of the president, because the president also said that he would back Roy Moore if he won the primary, if he won the runoff against Strange, and Roy Moore did indeed win that. And it's now been 2 weeks since the allegations first broke. There are now 7 women who have come forward. Here's what the leaders you work with in Congress are saying about that right now.
Yeah.
These allegations are credible. If he cares about the values and the people he claims to care about, then he should step aside.
I believe the women, yes.
I have no reason to doubt these young women.
That's the president's attorney general right there. Does the president have any reason to doubt these young women who are making the allegations?
George, I think that the vice president as well spoke out against this when the allegations came forward. The president has expressed his concern about this. As you noted, the president has not gone down to Alabama to campaign for Roy Moore since the primary concluded. We have serious concerns about the allegations that have been made, but we also believe that all of this information is out there for the people of Alabama. Roy Moore has been a public servant for decades in Alabama. He has run multiple times. The people of Alabama know best what to do and the right decision to make here.
They may, but I'm asking you a direct question on behalf of the president. You work for the president. Does the president believe the women or not?
Obviously, George, if he did not believe that the women's accusations were credible, he would be down campaigning for Roy Moore. He has not done that. He has concerns about the accusations, but he's also concerned that these accusations are 38 years old. Roy Moore has been in public service for decades, and the accusations did not arise until a month before election. So we are concerned about several aspects of the story. We're very concerned about the allegations. But at this point, as I've said, we think it's best for the people of Alabama to make the decision for them.
So you're not willing to make a yes or no judgment on whether the president believes the women?
I think I've answered your question 3 times now.
No, I think what you've said is you have questions and concerns about the allegations.
We do have questions. We do have serious questions about the allegations, and the president has raised those, and which one of the reasons why he has not gone down to campaign for Roy Moore.
So he promised after the primary to back Roy Moore. Is he still backing Roy Moore?
I don't think you've seen him go down there and campaign for him. I don't think you've seen him issue an endorsement. You've not seen him issue robocalls. I think he thinks that at this point it is best for the people of Alabama to make the decision for their state.
So he no longer backs Roy Moore?
I think he thinks it's best for the people of Alabama to make that decision.
So does that mean that if Roy Moore wins, that he should serve the term, that the Senate should not move to investigate and expel him?
I think that that's a decision for the United States Senate to make. I do think, George, that several instances have happened in the past when senators have been removed from office. Typically, those instances, though, are when Senator Packwood, as you showed in your promo earlier, had abuses in office. I'm not familiar with the Senate making a decision that all the public information was out there and the people made an election, and then the Senate decides to overturn the wisdom of the people of a state. Having said that, we think that the people of Alabama will have a lot of wisdom in making the right decision come December 12th.
That, again, and the right decision is?
I think that the right decision will be what the people of Alabama decide.
That's not, I know you think you've answered the question, and I understand that you're in a difficult position right here, but it's very simple, yes or no. Does the president believe that Roy Moore should be the next senator from the state of Alabama?
The president, I think, George, has made his perspective very clear on multiple occasions here. He has expressed concern about the allegations, but at this point, he is going to let the people of Alabama decide.
But he's willing to speak out on races all across the country. He's willing to endorse members of Congress. He's willing to endorse Senate candidates. Is he doing that here or not?
Right. So I think you should certainly be able to infer by the fact that he has not gone down to support Roy Moore his discomfort in doing so.
So he doesn't support Roy Moore?
George, I think that the president has spoken on this, the White House has spoken on this, and I think that at this point, we think he has been a public figure in Alabama for decades, and the people of Alabama will make the decision. Not the president, not the leader of the Senate, not members in Congress, the people of Alabama.
And the president will work with him if indeed he is elected?
The president works with all members of Congress. That is his role.
And he's comfortable with Roy Moore being in the United States Senate?
George, the president has concerns, if these allegations prove true, about anybody of that nature serving the United States Senate. You have heard us make concerns in particular about allegations that come from teenage girls. And we have said on other networks and other stations the reality that we think that those are the most offensive and that there is a special place in hell for people who are child molesters. Having said that, we also believe that these allegations are arising 38 years after the date, and it is Roy Moore has an opportunity to tell the people of Alabama his innocence. To date, we're uncomfortable that he has done that.
Right, you're uncomfortable. But again, if dating a 14-year-old, and you've used the word pedophilia in the past, is disqualifying, it comes down to a simple matter of whether or not you believe the woman who made that allegation or not.
And right here, sitting here 40 years after the fact, I cannot have any more information to tell you one way or the other. There are two people who know that, Roy Moore and the accuser.
Okay, we're going to have to move on. I think that's the answer we're going to get today. Let's talk about the tax bill right now. You heard Senator Collins right there lay out a litany of concerns on the tax bill. Can her concerns be met, particularly this issue of including the repeal of the Obamacare mandate in the Senate tax bill?
Well, I think as you heard Senator Collins make the case, that the reality was the individual mandate affects those families earning $50,000 or less the most. 80% of the people paying that tax are earning $50,000 or less. We always said we want the tax plan to focus on lower and middle income families. And keep in mind that when Obamacare went before the Supreme Court, it was the Obama administration that argued the individual mandate was a tax. We don't think we're mixing health care into the tax debate. It has been determined by the Supreme Court that this is a tax. And those families that are choosing instead to pay a tax opposed to get crummy insurance on the Obamacare exchanges are the ones that are most impacted. So we think it's important to provide them with that relief.
But, you know, your colleague, OMB Director Mick Mulvaney, has just told CNN that he's open to taking that out of the Senate bill. Is that the White House position?
The White House is very comfortable with the House bill because the House bill focuses on our three priorities: simplifying the tax code, reducing the corporate rate to bring jobs back, and focusing on middle-income families. As you note, it does not have the individual mandate in it. We also, though, believe the individual mandate is a tax, and it is harming middle-income families the most. So we like the fact that the Senate has included it in its bill.
And how about that issue that I also raised with Senator Collins? She expressed a concern that the corporate tax cuts in the Senate bill are permanent, yet the individual tax cuts are temporary. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's a good question, George. The reality is that many of the arcane Senate rules, as you're familiar with, are Byrd resolutions that make it difficult to make both permanent. What you saw, many criticisms made of the Bush tax plan 15, 16 years ago, is they said the individual rates would not be permanent. In reality, all the rates below $400,000 income, those cuts were permanent. So we are hopeful that both the individual and the corporate rate will be permanent.
But that means you'll blow through the deficit caps right there, and it won't be able to. You'll have concerns on the other side.
George, as you noted before, it's $1.5 trillion in deficit allowance. But for all of those who are preaching concern about the deficit, who took the deficits that we've created as a country from George Washington to President Obama doubled to make it $20 trillion in debt today that we have. Now there's a lot of people preaching concern about those debts. The reality is, if we don't grow our economy, we are never going to pay for the things that we need to do, such as to rebuild our military. If we're at the 1.8% GDP growth that we suffered under the Obama years, we will never be able to afford the things we need to do to make our border secure and make our world secure, and to be able to provide the defense that we need to make America secure. So those are things that we need to do with this tax plan to get our economy growing again.
Final question. We also talked to Senator Collins about that possible Medicare cut pointed out by the Congressional Budget Office, $25 billion. The president was very, very firm during the campaign. No Medicare cuts at all.
The president's been consistent on that. You're right. He is not interested in entitlement cuts. It's a promise that he made to the American people, and so we believe that provision could be waived.
But do you have the 60 votes to waive it?
I think that in the end that's a provision that will get waived.
Marc Short, thanks very much for your time this morning.
George, thanks for having me on.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.